information. Aspirations education come at the information level because we're there to give information to the students. So they are like wondering and thinking, what am I going to do next, like you very correctly said. And then it's like, am I going to be an engineer, lawyer, doctor, or are there any other fields? Am I going to be a media presenter or fashion designer? So many to it. So when the students come at these crucial points in their lives, we sit with them and talk to them and look at their aspirations and hidden desires and qualifications, financial affordability, and look at all these parameters to come up and give them suggestions. So along those informations, they can make informed decisions. So that is the core of aspirations.
Well, that was a very interesting statement which I captured there, but she did say they were like Robin Hood, giving back, and I think a little while ago,
in a more diplomatic way.
In a more diplomatic way, definitely.
Yeah, I'm not going to plunder from anyone. Right?
Well, of course, a little while before we did get into the show, I remember you all telling us that you all are tied up with 30 schools in 20 districts, and you do offer them scholarships. Would you like to just touch a little bit?
Yeah, actually beyond the scholarship, that again, even if you give, it's a few students only in a school. But what we have seen is that there's very much more to be done in these schools. They are involved for, you know, the IT facilities, sometimes the labs, science labs, as well as aesthetic studies. Then they are sometimes lacking in having the proper teachers for English or Tamil, mathematics and all that. We have actually supported quite a few schools by finding teachers from the locality on a temporary basis until the government is able to give them, and we have been looking after a sort of allowance for them. So that way we have, so that helps the entire school. Then going beyond, we actually started a more agriculture and a cultivation project. So there are a lot of land available in schools which is sort of basically, you know, not used at all. So the principals are struggling to make ends meet. Sometimes government funding doesn't come at the right time, and there are so much of things that have to be done. So what we thought was, while without waiting just for the funds to come, or maybe some benefactor like us to go and give us some handout, why can't the school on their own also be a little bit more self-sufficient, self-reliant? So in that basis, we have now started actually getting the parents and the teachers as well as the children. We are planting about, actually by the end of this month, we will be planting over 300 to 400 mango trees of a special variety called TJC, which has a high export demand. It's about 500 rupees a kilo. The mango is about 350 in this food city and other places. So that particular variety, we are supporting them to plant it, and then within a matter of 3 to 4 years, when it starts to yield, we hope that the funds generated would be able to help the school. Now in the process, without waiting for 4 years for it to generate income, we are also supporting them to plant short-term crops like pineapple and maybe melon, which can yield a little bit faster, so that it keeps on rotating and the children get more closer to agriculture, to the environment, and also maybe even beekeeping and things like that. So that way they are educated, they feel more for the school, they feel that they are, so that's a totally different dimension, which I am enjoying very much actually.
I think the foundation is all about targeting the mass market, not just one particular segment.
That's correct. Yeah, I mean, once you go into the school, everyone is going to benefit there, right? Whoever is there. And of course, these schools are really in sort of very, very far away, remote places. So they are called, like, you know, in the Sinhala classification, it's called Ati Dushkara, Dushkara, Hudakala, that type of school, where, you know, so you need someone to go and support them. And that's how we thought, right? I mean, why only sending people abroad? As you know, when we send people, we lose the manpower, we lose the foreign exchange, all that. So at times I feel I'm a little bit guilty in not being sort of faithful to the nation also. But I hope that the students who, once they go, they qualify, they come back. And even if they don't come back, they can always support the community from wherever they are. I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be money. It can be their knowledge, time, expertise in anything, as long as there's a give and take and a reciprocal process going. So this is basically, I mean, I'm looking at the mega picture, in totality.
Well, talking to our two guests, it's quite clear that Aspirations Education is all about aspiring, inspiring, giving back, and also educating. And of course, like I started this segment, I did say that they have a very interesting exhibition lined up over the weekend, which is on the 12th and 13th of July. So let's get on to that, and let's see what
we're looking forward to that.
Yes.
Day and day after tomorrow.
And let's see what that is all about. Deepamal, if you can just tell us a little bit about it.
It is the Aspirations International Education Exhibition, and this is happening for the 7th consecutive year. It's happening at Galadari tomorrow. So 9 o'clock the doors open, and we invite everyone to join us. And there are representatives coming from about 30 universities world over. That is Australia, New Zealand, Malaysia, Singapore. Any country you name it, you can get a chance, an opportunity to speak to the representatives. So it's absolutely free of charge. Once again, if you have any doubts about what to do next, and if you come to the exhibition, the advantage that you will have is the opportunity to compare options in different destinations. So, and it's also getting information directly from the horse's mouth, because anybody can go to Google and find out stats and facts about a university, but I think it's so much more practical when you speak to somebody who is there, who has lived there, and who knows the answers to the questions the students are asking. So there are a lot of students, we think, have their dreams to go to Australia or UK, but they also look at the financial affordability, and they find it sometimes it's not sufficient. So there's disappointment. But what they can understand when they come to an exhibition like that is you still can reach your dream, but there are other alternative methods for it. For example, they can go to Malaysia and they do their first year, and for the second year transfer, or they can go to a country like Singapore or Malaysia and still get an Australian qualification because it's awarded by a university in Australia. Then Monash Monash has its branch campus in Malaysia. University of Nottingham has its branch campus in Malaysia. So there are a lot of opportunities that students might get to know and discover that they might not know, and just a random Google check would not get that kind of information.
I see. And also I remember you did tell me that this exhibition is one of the largest exhibitions in Sri Lanka. Why do you say that?
It is the largest international education exhibition because there is no other exhibition that invites representatives from Australia, UK, Malaysia. We have international pavilions, and these universities are joining us. So there are other exhibitions. Sometimes it can be country specific or it can be local. However, there is no one exhibition that covers this range, and that has become possible for Aspirations because we have been working with our university network, which is about 100 universities, and we represent all these destinations. And because of the rapport and relationship we have been building with these universities over the years, and because we have sent over 1,500 students to these destinations, we have been able to bring this opportunity for the past 7 years, and it has been in demand, and a lot of students have given us amazing feedback along with the parents who are the ultimate decision makers. So that is what gives us energy to do it every year, though it's quite a big event to organize and take through, but we have continuously continued it. So I think that is very special for us also.
Inaugural time back in 2007, what sort of developments that has been taking place in the foundation plus the exhibition in general?
Foundation of course has grown quite a bit from just a scholarship giving organization to actively working with so many schools and getting involved with the students, the parents, and the so-called stakeholders.
Yeah.
And so that has really done very well. And then our numbers over the years also have increased where Aspirations Education is concerned. And the exhibition also has been featuring from time to time, even this time. There are some lecturers and academics who are coming from Monash University, Malaysia. They will be having a small 2-hour session about various aspects. There are about 7 of them coming. I'm not sure exactly how many of them would be there to talk to the students, but quite a few of them definitely would be there. So we are trying to see how best the students can not only talk to the marketing and the international representatives, but wherever possible, some other institutes are also supposed to bring some of the academics in. So that way, you can talk to a professor of engineering who would be very much more involved in that particular aspect, rather than a marketing officer talking about general. So there are both sides to it, and then as aspirations, we are also physically present there.
Okay.
So if someone doesn't understand exactly what the procedure is, we try to reach us. Actually, it's better that they talk to us rather than to the representatives. The representatives are there to guide you more on the subjects and the other things about the university. But the procedures, ideally, they should come and talk to us, and then we will guide them along.
Okay. We need to educate our viewers a little bit more about the exhibition. We are coming close to the end of the segment, but before we do, we're just going to touch upon where the exhibition is and what time
so tomorrow it will be at Galadari Hotel, and it's starting at 9 o'clock. It will be there until 6 o'clock. Entrance is absolutely free of charge. They can get more information visiting our website, which is www.aspirations.edu.lk. They can call us on our hotline the whole day and tomorrow. It will be 0777 539 888. So if they log into our website, they can also make registrations prior. And so tomorrow at Galadari and day after tomorrow as well, from 9 o'clock onwards, entrance free.
Just one more thing, before they do come in, is there any prep work involved from their end?
No, absolutely not, because it's an information gathering process. But if they have certificates and if they have things to think about, that is what they should bring, like questions they need to ask. And if they have doubts in documentations which might help, if some students might be in the middle of the process of going abroad, then they can bring documentations. Other people should think what they're going to ask these representatives as well.
And also I think it's very important that the parents, as much as possible, also come, because they would be more happy to learn about the financial commitments and the duration. And so I think that it's a case of both parties coming together, and finally in the process of going abroad, then I think it's teamwork between the parents, the student and us, and then that way we become the fountain of inspiration to realize your aspirations.
I think at the end of the day, the parents are the decision makers, so they definitely have to come for this event, which is happening tomorrow and day after the Galadari Hotel. Thank you so much for making it to the studios. It's been a blast, and we learned a lot as well, right?
We learned a lot. It was quite an educational program today. Also, just to remind you, before we do wrap up, do log into our Facebook page, which is www.facebook.com/goodmorningsrilanka. Feel free to put up a few posts or check out our posts. We'll definitely respond to you. So thank you very much for being with us on the show this morning. I hope you have a lovely weekend with the exhibition coming up, and of course it is a Friday, so I hope you have an amazing Friday too.
So thank you very much for making it a very lively discussion, the two of you, and
the pleasure is all ours.
Yes.
Thank you so much once again
for your time as well. Thanks for today.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye.
So we'll be back on Monday on Good Morning Sri Lanka. So hope to see you
weekend.
soon.
Yeah.